Okay, Roger, you take the caving part, and I'll take the history. Not until 2 months later did we actually meet. It was at the end of January 1977. The eastern part of the United States was shivering through its worst winter in years, and I skidded down from my State College, Pennsylvania home to Roger's gasless, freezing house in Yellow Springs, Ohio. The roadsides were piled high with snow, public schools were closed, and industry had curtailed its hours because of the emergency. There in the Brucker living room, bundled in sweaters and drinking wine to ward off the chill, we hammered out the broad outlines of this book and assigned the remaining research tasks. It was also there that we decided to reopen Sand Cave in order to reconstruct the actual rescue circumstances as accurately as possible. In the end, our research was conducted both above and below ground, in the local Kentucky countryside and in the nation's largest libraries. Our literary association became unique. It involved crawling on our backs and bellies, uncovering buried artifacts, viewing a 52-year-old corpse, and tracking down rare books, personal manuscripts, poems, ballads, old radio programs, TV broadcasts, and movies. In addition, we held a number of oral interviews, shuttling from large, well-appointed New England country homes to backwoods Kentucky shacks. We handled some of these interviews jointly, taped some separately, and secured some from the archives of the Cave Research Foundation. In the process, I had to learn the rudiments of caving. Suffering nausea and claustrophobia, I apprehensively placed my welfare in the hands of my collaborator while deep in the caverns of Kentucky. More than once I moaned to Brucker, "My God, Roger, do I have to do this?" Finding myself in the dark beside a coffin 160 feet underground was not my idea of fun. Roger, in turn, during the final stages of completing this manuscript, was introduced to the art of revising sentences and reading galleys while wedged in the transom berth of an ocean-going sailboat. Striving to maintain his equilibrium, he often allowed that a stable desktop would have been better. Clearly, each of us sacrificed something for this venture. Throughout, we were motivated by the hope that the reader would enjoy and be stimulated by this story as much as we were in researching and writing it. It is a true tale about a man who, trapped underground, precipitated what has been called America's greatest rescue story, offering millions of his fellow citizens the most horrible example on record of what it is like to be buried alive. This man seemed to some to have been born trapped. He grew up in a large family at the end of a dirt road in a backwoods area. He was basically uneducated, spent most of his life on or near the farm where he was raised, and died at age 37, only 4 miles from his birthplace. Yet he led a fascinating life of discovery, living for the adventure of exploring the unknown and finding underground wonders that dazzled generations of caving followers. Despite his parochial existence, he knew the liberating world of excitement and challenge, and often met and surmounted grave dangers involving crucial personal decisions. As with all fantastic true stories, this one has many paradoxes, surprises, and hidden threads. The listener is reminded at the outset that as wild or implausible as some of the situations, events, personalities, or conversations may seem, none have been invented. They are introduced and described here just as they existed or occurred. Some of these events and situations are still remembered by old-timers. Many are not. A few of the rescue personalities and participants are still alive. Most are not. But one thing they shared along with the authors: all were connected and were brought together in some way or other by a caver named Floyd Collins. Chapter 1. To Find a New Cavern. The cave was only a short distance from B. Doyle's house, and Floyd covered the ground quickly. It was not a morning to loiter. A chill westerly had pushed back the rain clouds, which for the past 2 days had brought extreme dampness to the area, and only a weak sun shone through. Winter runoff dripped everywhere, and the earth